You're a young man. In your time,
I like to hear that.
you're welcome.
I don't think so, but I'd like to hear that.
Have you seen racism in our city taper off, and are we doing a good job?
Well, individual acts of racism have actually increased and have increased substantially. And that was one of the reasons why people asked for the establishment of the Anti-Racism Secretariat. So I was elected April 2019 in a by-election. It was a historic by-election. There was a lot of elation in the community because I was the first Black city councillor ever elected. And then literally a month later, there was deflation in the community because literally the next month in my own ward, a family who had lived in the community for over 20 years had the N-word spray painted on their garage door. And the community, Black community, came together and they said, you know, these acts of individual racism are awful, but what's worse to them is not being treated equally before their government. Governments, especially a government of a nation's capital, of a country that is ideally the most multicultural in the world. Ultimately, there should be mechanisms to ensure that there's equity of opportunity and equity of outcome when we're dealing with government. So things have not been getting better, and that's one of the reasons why we want to ensure that we have this substantive engagement through the establishment of an anti-racism office, which not just serves the purpose of talking to the Black community and Indigenous people and other people of color and religious groups like Muslim residents and Jewish residents. I think the key is also ensuring that we have a wider conversation about the general impact that this has on people. And so I think that if we continue to have conversations, we will realize that there are more commonalities than differences.
What are you doing to combat racism in Ottawa?
Right now, this month, we've been undertaking some action planning for the Anti-Racism Secretariat. So the city staff have been talking to community members, asking them what they would like to see in terms of improvements to services or access to different opportunities that will ultimately level the playing field. So I think that is actually one of the most important things that the city can do in a tangible way, because it ensures that we're really seeking that key objective, really to improve the quality of life for all people, but also people of African descent, ensuring their rights are respected, and that we ultimately provide meaningful opportunities, whether they're socioeconomic opportunities or other cultural opportunities in the city, because ultimately people just want to be treated equally. So we're going to listen to the key challenges that people have. That's going to be translated into actionable policy that will ideally come to council at the end of the year for ratification, with timelines and benchmarks to say, these are the problems that the community has actually identified. This is the suggested solution. This is the amount of time that it should take. And we will track that, and we will hopefully ideally make progress after identifying all these challenges and seeking real solutions.
What is it that myself, my neighbor, my coworkers, what is it that we can do this month? Why should we get involved, and how should we get involved?
The month ultimately celebrates the contributions of Black Canadians, both past and present. And there's a lot of programming that is produced by multiple organizations. And it gives you an opportunity to really get a sense of what those contributions are. My suggestion would be to support a Black business. You know, one of the wonderful things that Black Canadians contribute is food. We have wonderful cuisine. And there are a number of different restaurants across the city. And I think that would make for an exciting thing that somebody can do on a weekend. Try to find a Black restaurant on your own and, give them a call and order some really exciting food, whether it's Portuguese, African Portuguese barbecue, or whether it's roti from the islands. I think go and support a business and show that you are supportive in a substantive way of the community.